Alright guys, in this video I'm going to show you how you can maximize your sleep quality as an entrepreneur, right? And I'm going to get into the things that are very simple and easy to understand and follow, and it's all you need to know. You don't need to watch the hours of Andrew Huberman, you don't need to do all the research and do all the studies, you just need to follow what I'm going to show you in this video. And why should you listen to me? Well, I suffered a lot with bad sleep, hence why I'm so knowledgeable in this and why I coach other entrepreneurs with their sleep as part of what I normally do. And yeah, I've tried all the things from the supplements and the routines. I even did a sleep study. I got nose surgery to breathe better. I tried everything and it was a nightmare. It was a living nightmare for about half a year until I got it fixed. And so yeah, this is everything I know, and I'm cutting out all the things that don't matter at all. So the first thing I'm going to talk about is it starts in the morning. It starts with the morning light. Now, you probably heard this a lot, but you don't understand why. Why is morning light important? You probably heard Andrew Huberman talk about it a lot, right? But the reason is because I know the time on my phone right now is 12:23 p.m. Our body does not know what time it is, same as we consciously know, right? And the way that our body understands what time of the day it is through information. And the sources of information is light and food. So whenever you eat or get light on your skin or through, like, when the light goes in your eye, you're basically signaling to your body that the sun is still up, there's still things to do, life is going on, right? It doesn't know unless you give it that source of information. And so, especially the morning light, you've probably heard that you should get it like directly in your eyes. When you get it directly in your eyes, you're basically signaling to your body what time of the day it is. You're signaling that, okay, the day has started now. The sun is up right now, and you're starting that clock. You're kind of like starting it from the beginning, if that makes sense, right? And so you're basically allowing, how that translates into your mood and your energy and your sleep is, let's say 8 a.m. I go outside, I set my circadian rhythm, I get sun in my eyes, right? That is reinforcing to my body to release hormones, right? More specifically cortisol in the morning at that time, every single day, if I keep reinforcing it, right? Not only is this going to help just with your performance overall, when you wake up, you're going to have that strong hit of, it's kind of like a natural caffeine high, right? This is a super important habit. I'm not going to go too into it on this video, right? But that is why you get the morning light. It's signaling to your body to release cortisol in the morning, therefore releasing melatonin at night. Melatonin is a chemical that makes you feel sleepy and tired. So what you want, right, is melatonin to be high at night, low in the morning, and you want cortisol high in the morning, low at night. Whenever that's fucked up, which it is for 99% of people, business owners, human beings in general, due to technology and our weird lifestyles, that's when your health is just bad and you just, excuse the voice crack, that's when your health is just bad and you feel moody and you get brain foggy and you get energy dips, etc. So morning light is super, super important. Like, out of everything in this video, just get outside in the morning, right? And the way you can make this an easy habit, you wake up, you grab your water, you grab your electrolytes, you go outside, you go for a walk, you just kind of chill, just be in the sun. This is a super normal habit that you need to get used to. It needs to just feel and become normal to you, right? Because if we rewind hundreds of years ago, maybe not even that long ago, it was very normal to just go outside. We didn't have like all this artificial light. It was just normal to do things when the sun was up. You wake up with the sun, right? And with everything health and performance, so the closer you go to how we are biologically wired and how things were before we got, super advanced in this weird modern society, the healthier you're going to be, right? And that is directly in line with what I'm telling you right now. To get morning light, think about how, I hate saying caveman example, it's a weird one, but back in the day, that's what we did. We got light. When we woke up, we rose with the sun. We went to sleep when the moon came up and the sun went down, right? So that is going to signal to your hormones and give you cortisol and give you energy and make you sleepy at night. So you get your morning light, right? That is the first one, right? The next thing is you want to make sure, actually with that, you want to also try and get a bit of more sunlight throughout the middle of the day, maybe the afternoon as well. It's going to help set your circadian rhythm again. But anyway, just focus on the morning light. So the next thing is you want to actually make sure you're breathing through your nose at night. If you close your mouth right now, how is your nose? Can you actually breathe through it properly? If you struggle to breathe through your nose during the daytime, you probably can't breathe through it at night, and that's a big, big problem. Not only is breathing through your nose making your jaw fatter and chubbier, as my jaw was for many, many years, until I started breathing through my nose, I kind of get a bit more chiseled over the years, right? The science of that, who cares about? You can do your own research. But you might think, you breathing through your mouth, you get more oxygen in, but it's not really the case. You get more volume of oxygen through breathing through your mouth, but it's kind of like your body filters it out. And so if I get like half a breath through my nose, your body actually uses more oxygen from that, right? Same with, if you watch fighters or athletes, whenever they start breathing out of their mouth, you're like, oh shit, he's really tired. Because our nose is made for breathing. Our mouth is made for eating. You can breathe through your mouth, but it's not ideal. God doesn't want us to breathe through our mouth all the time. And so you will just notice, you'll wake up with a bit of a dry mouth, your nose will be extra blocked, and you won't have good sleep. You might have a headache when you wake up a little bit. You need to be breathing through your nose. So if that's a problem, I would say number one, go to a doctor and see if it's deviated. He can just quickly take a look at your nose. And I've actually diagnosed a few people just on video calls with my clients. Just, oh yeah, you have a deviated septum. But get that checked out. It's very easy. Or just ask a friend if they know. And for the short term, if you're struggling to breathe out of your nose, things you can try is like nose tape. So the tape that goes around here, you can get that off all these things off Amazon. You can get something in your nose. So you put it inside like your nose and it opens up your nostrils like that. So you get more oxygen. Other things you can do is drain your nose with like that, I don't know what you call it, but it's basically salt water goes in and out, cleans your nose. You can breathe better. If it's really bad, and this is something you shouldn't do all the time, you can get like a anti-inflammatory nose spray. So you spray it in and it's going to allow you to breathe a lot better. I actually did these for a while because I had a deviated septum for pretty much my whole life. And then I was training MMA one day. I got fucking punched. And yeah, my nose, like my septum literally was like here, it was just sticking out. Like it was so bad. It just made it way worse. Thank God I had surgery like a few months later. I was on the waiting list in Australia and they called me right at the right time. So that was a huge game changer. But yeah, so you want to be breathing through your nose. And if you're not, you need to start dealing with it with some temporary solutions. Figure out if you actually have a deviated septum, because you might just be, when you don't use it, you lose it. When you don't use your nose that much, it starts getting inflamed and like the nose hole is like very small. So you need to train it. It might take weeks or even months. Then you'll be able to breathe a lot better. So you need to just force yourself. Another tip, tape your mouth. That's the other main tip I forgot. Tape your mouth to figure out if you can breathe through your nose. You probably know by now anyway, from what I already said. But yeah, buy some nursing tape or surgical tape. Tape your mouth at night and see how you go. Super important. Most people won't tell you these 2 tips I've already told you right now. The next thing is with substances. So with caffeine, most people drink caffeine. I drink caffeine. I just had a coffee. There's not a certain rule of don't have it after 2 p.m. or 3 p.m. That's just because most people sleep by 12 o'clock or whatever. You just want to have it 10 hours before you go to bed, right? So you do the math. If you're aiming to fall asleep by 12, have the last one at 2 p.m. I'm good at math, right? 10 hours, because it has a half-life. And now you're probably thinking, yeah, well, I can have coffee. Some people have coffee 20 minutes, 30 minutes, 1 hour before they go to bed and they can fall asleep fine. And you can sleep fine. That's kind of normal. Like I can fall asleep after drinking coffee, but your sleep quality will be terrible. Your awake time during sleep will go to like 40 minutes, maybe 1 hour. Your REM sleep will be low. Your deep sleep will be a lot lower. Same with the other things I'm going to talk about, nicotine and weed and alcohol. You might be able to still sleep. It might even help you fall asleep, right? Especially obviously alcohol and weed, right? I was doing that for years. But your quality of sleep is going to suffer. And you're not even going to notice it going throughout your day because you're just going to be used to it. But trust me, there's just no way you get good quality sleep. You might be good to you, but if you're watching this video, I assume you want to get really good quality sleep. And I'm telling you, there is a new reality where when you get good quality sleep, everything is much better. Your performance, your focus, your energy, your mood, your stress, your decision making, your emotion control, like unlimited benefits. But anyway, the next thing I'm going to talk about is, and this is an easy protocol for you guys to follow, and it's what I give to all my clients. It's what I talk about all the time. It's called the 3-2-1 protocol. Now, each number stands for amount of hours before bedtime. Let's say your bedtime is midnight, 12 o'clock. So the 3 hours before bed, you want to finish eating your last meal. Like that's the maximum time you're going to allow, from your bedtime, 3 hours. Try to not go past 3 hours to 2 hours or 1 hour. This is because you're going to allow your body to digest food. Opposite. You're going to allow your body to actually rest and recover from your sleep rather than digesting the food. It takes a lot of energy and resources in your body to digest food. It's a big job. And if you're just eating food and going to sleep, it's going to do one or the other, really. It can't do both to a good quality. Some people, I notice the best sleeps I get is maybe when I delay, like I have like an 8 hour window from my last meal to sleeping. It has a huge impact on your sleep quality. So that's why we do that. Now, 2 hours before bed, you want to start avoiding blue light. Now, when I say avoid blue light, I mean just avoid blue light. A lot of my clients ask me like, oh, I got blue light blockers. I'm like, avoid blue light. Oh, I turn my TV off. I'm like, just avoid blue light. You need to just think with your common sense, be environmentally aware. You know, turn that light off, put the brightness down, put the brightness down, put the brightness down. Blue light blockers on, light a candle. Candle is just fire. It doesn't really emit blue light. There's software. There's a software for your computer called F.lux, and it basically makes your screen, eliminates the blue light. It looks a little bit like orange or red tinted. So just remember, avoid blue light. It doesn't mean put on blue light blockers. It means avoid blue light. Because if you do, I can wear my blue light blockers and put the brightness down. If I have my TV on full brightness and the light on in the corner, it's going to fuck me up. It's going to affect my circadian rhythm. The same thing I talked about before with why we get light in the morning. We want to obviously avoid that in the evening so we can keep our circadian rhythm locked in. Cortisol high in the morning, low at night. Melatonin high in the evening, low at night. If we start getting light in the evening or not getting light here, then it's going to be fucking up, down, all over the place, right? And you're not going to feel like a normal, healthy human being, right? So that is 2 hours before bed. Avoid blue light. Blue light blockers, brightness down, light up a candle, use your phone torch to go around. You will get amazing quality sleep, right? Now, 1 hour before bed, you want to, stop doing work. I get it, you're an entrepreneur. I work pretty late, close to bedtime as well. I avoid blue light. And 1 hour before bed, you want to just finish up your work. So plan tomorrow, do a bit of journaling, send final messages or email. Just wrap up your work day and plan for tomorrow, and maybe do some journaling. Just get things out of your brain. So like work is done, right? Once you do that, then you just actually have an unwind time. Like you actually go watch TV or Netflix, or you just, I don't know, do something that relaxes you. Some people play chess. Whatever your thing is, just like actually unwind. Because the goal in this 1 hour is you want to lower your cortisol, right? That is the thing that fucks most people up, especially you if you're an entrepreneur. You want to lower your cortisol before you go to bed. Otherwise, you're not going to be able to sleep. Or if you do sleep, it's going to be very broken and terrible. You're going to have a high awake time. You're not going to be able to get good quality deep sleep. So yeah, 1 hour before bed, avoid stress. How do we do that? Journaling, plan the day after, finish up work completely, take your mind off it. Watch a bit of YouTube, something lighthearted, obviously with the brightness down, etc. You're still following the rules, right? And yeah, that is that. So the next thing I want to talk about is how you optimize your bedroom. So in summary, the way you want your bedroom to be optimized for good sleep, in terms of like when you're falling asleep or when you are asleep, is you want it to be cold. I would say anywhere from like 16 Celsius to like 22, 23. My air conditioning, I actually put it on 22, but it feels very cold. I think maybe it's wrong. But anyway, until you're like almost uncomfortably cold is where you want it to be. That's when you get really good sleep, right? You just want to do what you can. If you don't have an aircon, use a fan, do something, be creative, right? The best thing is obviously to get an aircon. If you're picking a hotel, make sure the air conditioning works very well. Super important. Obviously, if you care about your performance, make do with what you can. I know there's some like cheaper air conditionings where it converts air from outside to cooler air, etc. You might just need a fan. Do what you can, right? The next thing is blind. So you just don't want lights. It's going to signal to your body that the sun is still actually low-key awake, and you're going to have these micro wake-ups, and you're not going to be able to go into deep sleep. Now, this could be even like dim lights. Like my aircon, I'm not going to turn my camera, but I actually put duct tape over the bottom corner of it because I had this annoying LED light that was like pretty bright, and it just pissed me off. So I actually blocked it off, and that would be definitely affecting my sleep. Those subtle LED lights from like, random devices, your hardware devices, right? Now that is that. You want to be blind. If that's still an issue, you can just use a sleep mask to block everything out. But yeah, the best thing is really just to block the lights from all the, software and stuff, not software, the hardware, aircon, maybe your TV, whatever weird light is coming, and then get blackout blinds. So you're blocking the light from the sun. The sun, for example, you might be waking up at 10 o'clock, which is all right. But you don't want the sun waking you up internally at 7 a.m., 8 a.m. So if that's an issue, if the sun is coming up, entering your room before you want to wake up. That's basically waking you up by then. So you're just sabotaging yourself. You want to block out the light as well as you can. So yeah. Next thing is you want to be deaf. Obviously, you don't want it to be noisy when you're trying to sleep. It's going to wake you up. You might not even remember the wake ups. We have a lot of micro wake ups in our sleep. So if you have a loud neighbor, a loud street, or your fan is too loud, that's all going to be a problem, right? That's not to say you can't play something like white noise or some kind of chill thing that helps you sleep. That's good. That can actually help as long as it's not too loud and it's keeping you awake and stressed, right? Now, the next one is big, and this is one that I neglected for a while. I was like, you know what? I've mastered sleep. I can just sleep and wake up at any time I want. I just get good sleep. I'll give myself 8 hours, whatever. But if you actually care about focus and your performance, this won't work. You want to especially just wake up at the same time. Like, you will feel better waking up let's say you sleep at 12 o'clock and wake up at 8 o'clock all the time, 12, 8, 12, 8, and then you get to the weekend and you end up sleeping at 2 a.m. I've actually found that I feel and perform way better waking up at the same time. So I'll sleep from 2 to 8 and I'll get less quality sleep, but it actually becomes better quality sleep. And I'm going to explain to you why. But I will feel and perform so much better because when you wake up at like 8 to 10 to 11 to 9 to 7, random all over the place, you're basically time traveling. It's kind of like the same as traveling to a different city or a country and you're becoming a little bit jet lagged, right? It's jet lag. It is literally jet lagged. So that whole thing I spoke about with the cortisol and the melatonin, what's happening is you're getting that hit of cortisol at that time, 8 a.m., but then you're going to sleep in to like 10. And so you're going to get this hit of cortisol, and then you're going to get this hit of melatonin, and then your cortisol is going to go down, your melatonin is going to be high, you're going to wake up, and you're going to be like, oh, I feel kind of refreshed, but you're going to have this weird brain fogginess. That's why sometimes you guys sleep, 8 to 10 to 12 hours and you feel super brain foggy, you feel a bit fried. One, that might be due to hydration, but two, that's often you being jet lagged because you slept in. Another thing actually that could be is you're finally catching up on all that REM and deep sleep you neglected due to whatever. Maybe you weren't sleeping enough, maybe you weren't following the things I spoke about in here, you're having alcohol, weed, whatever, and that's your body catching up, so you just feel groggy, you woke up in like deep sleep, right? But often it is just it is just jet lag, right? So try and sleep and wake at the same time. You're going to feel way more clear-headed, way more focused, way more energized. It's going to be so much easier to go about your day, right? Even if you get a little bit less sleep. So sleep and wake up at the same time. This is a rule that I neglected for so fucking long. So long. And I've been really stubborn with this my whole life. But for me to change, for me to actually stick to a consistent wake-up time, it took a lot to convince me. So trust me, just save yourself the time and hassle and just sleep and wake up at the same time. It's super, super beneficial. Yeah. Next thing is only get in bed for sleep and sex, because if you do other things in your bed, such as watching TV or working or talking to people or eating, other habits as a human being, your brain is gonna basically associate that habitat, that area, your bed, with everything else. This is a workstation, this is where we eat, this is where we relax and enjoy our time. It's also where we sleep. So your brain's going to be confused. And when you get in bed, this is probably why it takes you a while to fall asleep. You get in bed and you just feel wide awake. Yeah, our brain is very good at pairing habitats with habits. So this is why right here where I'm sitting is where I watch YouTube or call people, whatever. My desk over there is where I work, and my bed is where I sleep. Right? So you just want to keep everything separated. And you're going to have an easy time getting into that mode. That's why when you go to a toilet, you feel like peeing, right? That's pretty much the same thing. So, yeah, that is going to help. The next thing is if you're stressed and waking up early, you want to check and track your calories if you're having enough carbohydrates and calories throughout the day. Especially if you're stressed, you can get away with eating more carbohydrates. A lot of entrepreneurs are just, and I get it, this was me. You sleep less, you train hard, and the stress and the caffeine makes you not hungry, and you're busy working, and you end up eating less, and you end up burning out. Increase your carb intake. Track your carbohydrate intake on an app like MyFitnessPal, because when you're stressed and you're waking up at 3 a.m. like we're fucking going crazy, it might be a carb deficiency because your liver is looking for fuel for it to do its processes, and it wants you to wake up and feed it, basically. So, yeah, that is that. The other thing is magnesium, which I'm going to talk about the supplements in a second, but yeah, let's talk about that in a sec. But do stress lowering activities. If you're eating enough carbohydrates and that's not the issue, take it more easy throughout the day. You shouldn't be pinging your cortisol in the evening. As I said with the 3-2-1 protocol, you want your sleep to be, I'm not making sense right now. You want your stress to be, you want your cortisol to be low in the evening so you can actually fall asleep. So you need to be a little bit more strategic throughout your day and figure out like, okay, well, I'm doing this. Should I really be doing hard exercise and hard business work at 11 p.m. an hour before I go to bed? That's what I used to do. Like, definitely don't do things early in the day. You want to be a normal, healthy human being. Work hard when the sun is up and kind of have a break throughout the day. Go for a walk. And then at night time, finish up. Keep working, just don't do crazy shit. Keep working, unwind, enjoy your time, go to sleep. You need to prepare yourself to go to sleep. Right? Stress lowering activities. That could be meditation, could be walking, calling someone, stretching, whatever it is for you. Right? Now, the best for last. A lot of you guys probably wanted me to talk about this in the beginning. Supplements. Oh, supplements. Guys, before I tell you the list of supplements I take or recommend, just know that when I took the most supplements in my life, I had the worst sleep ever because my fundamentals were terrible and I was really bought into the whole, supplements will fix it. Quick fixes. That's why supplements do well, because it's a quick fix. Everything else I told you takes time and it takes a bit of effort and conscious powers, right? So let's get into it anyway. One thing I recommend to all my clients and every single person and to myself, and I'll never stop taking, is magnesium glycinate. Why magnesium glycinate? Because most people are magnesium deficient. Why? Because number one, we're highly stressed. When you're stressed, your cortisol is high. When your cortisol is high, it depletes magnesium. On top of that, the foods we have, due to the corrupted, shitty farming practices in our modern society, we don't have much magnesium in our crops, in our foods. So we're not getting it from our foods, we're not getting it from our water, and we're zapping it all the time due to being stressed. We live in a very stressful time as human beings. It's very unnatural. It's very weird. So most people I give magnesium glycinate, their awake time during sleep will slash it in half. They will feel better the day after. They will feel very rested. And it's something I'll just always take. And I'm pretty reliant on it, to be honest. I don't like to admit that, but magnesium glycinate, it's not really, I wouldn't say it's like supplement, like it's a cherry on top. I would say it's actually filling in a crack that's hard to fill in naturally with your food. So magnesium glycinate, I think most people should take that. All right. On top of that, if you're highly stressed, again, I don't want you guys to rely on supplements for stress. That's what I did. But one thing you could try is L-theanine. So take 200 milligrams, 300 milligrams at night. I take it in the morning just to help with when I have coffee. Calms down the jitters. I can focus a lot better. So L-theanine at night can help you calm down, relax. Pretty safe. It's just an amino acid. Ashwagandha. So I took this for a while. A lot of people speak about it. A lot of people know about it. I would say cycle it, because if you take it for a long time, it's been reported by a lot of people, including myself, that it starts to numb your emotions and you don't feel good. You don't feel happy or sad. You just don't feel emotions. You kind of just flatline. And you don't want to feel that because it's fucking terrible. Life without emotion is very weird. So ashwagandha, cycle it, be careful. Make sure you get KSM66. I think it's called. That's like the real ashwagandha. I think ashwagandha itself is like the leaf, but then KSM66 is like the root. Anyway, I'm not even condoning that to you. I'm just saying that is a supplement that you can take. Another one is glycine and collagen. So this will help you with deep sleep as well as just kind of knocking out a lot easier. Collagen is a powder. It's basically like the connective tissue between the bones in animals. And yeah, that's pretty much it for supplements. And that's pretty much it for the video. So if you guys found that useful, leave a like, sub, comment, all that stuff. And if you want to work with me or at least get a performance audit for me to understand your main goal in business, understand your performance, give you some kind of roadmap going forward, then there will be actually there's no link. Just drop me a message saying audit on Instagram, link in the bio, and we can chat from there. But otherwise, goodbye.